Hello, modern U.S. history parents. My name is Mr. Williamson, and I am the teacher of your student. Just trying to give you a little bit of an idea of what we've gone over so far this year, and kind of some of the expectations and some of the things that you might want to know about the class, or questions you might have that hopefully I can answer before you have them. So, we're now into our second unit. First unit was Civil War. So we talked about Civil War, Reconstruction, how the country was fractured and how they came back together. We really focused on some of the causes of the Civil War, and then what were some of the effects of the Civil War. We didn't really go over a lot of battles all that much. I feel like U.S. history is not necessarily all about the battles. That may be fun, but it's probably more about cause and effect and some of the things that come from that. So we started with Civil War and Reconstruction, and now we are into westward expansion. So we're talking a lot about South Dakota history, actually, with homesteading, with the Native American tribes that are here and that were here prior to westward expansion. So if you, and I did ask the students to go home, and for those that maybe know people on farms or have family on farms, I asked the students to talk to their parents about homesteading, and if they know a lot about who homesteaded, whether it was a great grandparent or great 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 grandparent or whatever it might have been. So hopefully your student came home and talked to you about that. That was one of the assignments a couple weeks ago. But we're about to test on that. That test is going to be Wednesday, and so we're just preparing for that. We're doing some review stuff for that test, which is, like I said, it's going to be Wednesday. And then we go on to urbanization, industrialization, and immigration. That's going to be our next topic, kind of the turn of the century America. And one of the things that we're going to do with that is we're going to do a little immigration activity and trying to do a little bit of a family lineage. How far back can you go? So I'm going to have the students come home with a family tree. And if it's something that you can fill out, that's great. If it's not anything that past maybe grandparents, I can understand that too. But I'd like to maybe look at when your family came over to America. I know I've had students where their family came over in the 1600s, and it was they've been here since then. They moved from East Coast to the West Coast, or to Midwest, I should say. I've also had families that they were born in another country, and they've this is their first generation that has lived in America. So hopefully you have some conversations with your student, and are able to fill that out a little bit. We're going to look at Ancestry.com. Ancestry gave us a grant to kind of research through family history a little bit, but we could never get it to work on the computers. So for some reason, it won't work on our computers. So we haven't been able to do that. But if you maybe have a subscription to Ancestry and you can go back and find out information about your family, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear the family history. That'll probably start next week, and we're going to go for a couple weeks. So that's all the information that I have right now for what we are doing. A couple of the procedures that you should be aware of. I have tests and quizzes. We haven't had many quizzes yet, so we'll have more reading quizzes, or we'll have more formative assessments and even summative assessments going forward. One of my procedures is that they're allowed to gain some credit back by doing test corrections. So if they get a score that they're not happy with, or they thought maybe they didn't study enough, or they didn't achieve the score that they wanted to, they are allowed to come in and do test corrections. Test corrections can be done at home or in school, so it does not hurt them to do any test corrections. I want them to learn. My whole goal is that they learn. They learn the material, whether it's the first time or the second time. So if you maybe prod them along a little bit to do some of those test corrections, that would be great. For those students that have been spent a lot of time at home, whether it was during quarantine or for quarantining for 10 days or 14 days, Just know most of my assignments, actually all my assignments, but one have been on Google Classroom, and the other assignment that was not has been exempted. So check Google Classroom all the time. If you're at home, my notes are on there. My help sheets are on there. Assignments are on there. Guided readings are on there. Guided notes are on there. So just check on Google Classroom. I'm going to post this to YouTube. So if you have any questions, I'm assuming other parents probably have the same questions. So just put comments, ask your question in the comments. I'll try to look at these every once in a while and maybe answer those questions. Or you can always email me. My email is kory.williamson@k12.sd.us. All right. Thank you and have a great evening.